This is the beginning, the real deal. This is
um,
it.
yeah, let me get a. You can choose a pair on the right. Just choose a pair. Let me pick
Um,
one.
let's go for an EU pair because that's one of the ones I'm looking at mainly.
Yeah, I already did the EU pairs, but I will wipe them and I will do them again. But choose one.
Your
It
charts
doesn't.
are
It
so
doesn't
much
really matter,
clearer.
you
Yeah,
know. Structure is structure. So
yeah.
so
Whatever you think,
choose
whatever one you
uh,
want to look at as well.
choose one
'Cause
from the GPP pairs down. So the G pairs, ED pairs,
okay,
SEJ,
GBP, JPY then.
GJ.
Yeah, your charts are so much cleaner, Jesus.
I don't like this one. Wait, give me a second.
I like the pink lines as well. It's kind of just yeah.
I want to
Because
make
Brutus's markups are good, like, it makes sense, but there's so much when you start like learn the fibs and then like the lower highs and the kind of
yeah.
the highlighter tool, and it just gets really kind of messy.
I think this is a nice one. Give me a second.
How big's your
Uh,
monitor?
uh, 32 inches ultra wide. So it's not
Yeah,
as
now.
it's like really wide, but not as high.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've wall mounted it, and then beneath the monitor I have my laptop as a second
Oh,
screen,
nice.
so I can dual it.
Stonks.
Yeah. So um, the way I have been, the primarily time frames I use to trade are like daily and 4 hour. Then I met
hmm
Aiden. Aiden is Brutus. To not get things confused, Brutus's real name is Aiden. Aiden O'Hagan.
hmm hmm
And then I started looking a little bit more into the 1 hour. Currently, I'm backtesting a shitload to incorporate the 1 hour into like a multi-time trade analysis.
hmm
Um, Maybe I can show you if I can. Um, it's looking okay, you know. Give me 2 seconds. It's loading. Yeah. So this is only three pairs. So this is like EA, EG,
hmm
and EJ and EF from
hmm
the start of 2022 until now. So this is only four pairs, and here you can see, for example, the targets they hit here in total like 80%.
hmm
Only four pairs during the year. So there's some logic behind the tactic, you know. I'm going to do
hmm
like all the pairs, all the 28 pairs, and then I will compile my stuff, and I've backtested it, etc. etc.
Unreal. Looks deadly.
You did the photon, right? I sent you.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah,
Very, very good.
very good. So what I always like to do is I don't start at where we are now. I always go further back because we can be looking at this area here and it would like, yeah,
Yeah.
but this is low and this is a high and this is low and this is a high, but maybe there's some structure over here.
Yeah.
So I always go back pretty far. So for example, I just started like the start of the year, and then I just pinpoint a low and a high, and I go from there. So I say, okay, this is my low, and let's say, for example, this is a high, and then I start mapping it out. How
hmm
I map it out is, um, I will start drawing first. It's easier. With an impulse, we have a correction. With an impulse, we have a correction, and another impulse. Pure market structure.
hmm
Everything between this high and this low is considered as internal structure.
hmm
So we can do everything in here. We can do like dances, jumps, circles.
Yeah,
You
backwards, forwards. Yeah.
backwards. You give it a name. You can do the hula hoop. I don't give a shit. You know. Every, everything in between these points can be seen as correction for more upside momentum.
Yeah.
And until we break this low, in this case, we are still in an uptrend. So that's the
hmm
main thing to look at. The wicks represent the where we have been in the past. So for example, I just start with this low and this high, and I will look. Okay, I have this tool and I drag the line across in this fashion, and I know I have a solid line for like a break of structure, and I have a dotted line for a change of character. For
Yeah, that's
me,
nice.
a break of structure is just a new low in the continuation of the trend.
Yeah.
Because currently, as you can see, we are in a downtrend. So this is just a continuation.
Hmm.
So when we cross this line, we break the last point we've been. We break the wick until a new low. So this is your new low.
Yeah.
To specify your highest, your new high, I like to do, because I look at swing range and internal structure as two different things. I always map out swing and then I go to internal. You always look at the highest point of the correction before the new point was made. So between this low and this low, what has been the highest point? This has been the highest point.
Yeah.
Because from this low, this is the highest we've reached. We came back down a little bit. We went here, and then here you made your new low. So this is your
Hmm.
highest point of your correction. Now, likewise, if you, oh, sorry, if we break it again,
That
you,
tool's handy, or the way you're kind of, it's like snapping in place with control. It's pretty, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
nice.
well, and then this will be your new low.
Yeah.
What's the highest point of the correction? It's here.
Yeah.
And then you can just continue mapping it out. How I map it out is just press Control, as I told you, and then when you
Yeah.
go to the side, press Shift. Because if you do
Hmm.
Shift, it straightens out the line. You can do whatever, it just keeps it straight. They don't
Yeah.
get like crooked lines. The next thing is a little bit up for debate, because I say my next low is here. Some people would say, yeah, but here you have a pullback, and this is a pullback, and this is all
Yeah.
small pullbacks. But for me, to classify something as pullback, it has to be like completely opposite to the trend, and at least
Like significant
two,
move, like,
yeah, 2 3 candles of the opposite color. Um, so let's see if I can get an example. For example, people could specify, yeah, this is a pullback. For me, this is not a pullback because, yeah, but it moves sideways. So for me, this is like
yeah.
an impulse with some sideways action and the next impulse. For me, a
Hmm.
pullback is like an impulse correction against the trend and then another push down.
Yeah.
That's for
That's the
me.
part I kind of struggle with. Like, it's kind of okay. It's moving up, but it's still. I have to kind of keep in mind it's the higher or the lower high above it that until it breaks that, it's not moving.
Exactly.
It's not. It hasn't broken structure at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that part there then as well. Kind of like figuring out when to kind of get in them. Then it goes back to the fibs and the kind of other confluences. So yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's also still a sort of difficult part. So
Mm,
this I would count as a pullback, this push back up, because we
yeah.
have a simple rule is if you have we're going down, we have black candles, and then if you have two or more opposite color candles who are going in the opposite direction of the trend, that's something you can classify as a pullback. So if
Yeah.
you have one candle, two candle, three candle, four candle, five candle, and you're going against this big push. So
Yeah.
this is a clear pullback.
Hmm.
Uh,
And you see, sorry, you see on, I think it's around January. You see the way, sorry, you see the lower or the pre, let me see this November and then 16 on the dates.
I think you can also draw on my screen if you want.
Oh shit, can I? Oh,
Yeah,
one
I
second.
think on the top screen you have
Uh,
here annotate. If you press annotate, you can draw smileys, whatever you want. Yeah, that's you, Todd.
that's wow. Okay, one
Wow.
second. Let me see. So you see, oh, this is good. Wow. To see here, right? See the way the low was made, right there.
Yeah.
So this part, if I can get, let me erase these two. Um, this part here, would that be the the next lower high then?
Yes.
Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see, so say then this is the new lower low then
Yes.
continuation of the trade, and then this part here breaks past this part. Is that now an uptrend?
Yes,
Or
it is. I went too quick, but it is. Yeah, because
okay, so yeah, I'm with you
yeah,
now.
because you have this dot, and
Yeah,
then what's the highest point that has been reached between the two dots? And then you just follow. Okay, here, and then we went back down. Okay, so then
yeah,
this is your high, and then
yeah,
let me get this, but you have to get a little bit feeling for it because sometimes if you start mapping out all the little swings, you can be, for example, you can be like, yeah, but now we're in an uptrend. But then
yeah,
in reality, if you take the high to the low, this is just a retracement from the bearish swing. So from the
Yeah.
bearish swing structure, I always struggle saying that word. It's like my
A
tongue
swing,
goes
yeah.
This was
Uh,
just a ginormous pullback for more downside momentum because you see it goes
yeah,
all the way down. So
yeah.
you could be arguing. Um, this for me is internal structure actually. So you could be
Hmm.
arguing, okay, this is like a change of character,
Yeah,
and then this is your new high. But then there's the thing, to validate an uptrend, we have to also break this one here because this is
yeah,
your first
exactly.
high, and then you have to create a second higher high for a new higher low, and
Hmm.
then you have like the first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg. So then you see, okay, we're in an uptrend, and oh, we're going all the way down, and then you're like, but what happened? I was looking at longs. Yeah, you forgot to look at the big picture. The big picture is you're in a downtrend because we went
Yeah, I see it now.
all the way down. So then
And like, so you're
this is
only
internal.
looking at the trends, sorry, on the daily, but if the weekly and the monthly, or the monthly and the weekly are saying different,
I
then
don't
it,
look at that. I look at them
yeah,
only for one specific reason. I will come to that later. If I'm looking
yeah,
at an entry and I have my zone marked out, then I will go to the monthly and the weekly just to look, am I at a current level? Am I at a current monthly level or a weekly level? Yes or no. So I will map out then a level that is relevant to the place I am currently. So not to dive in too far sideways. For example, I'm looking here at the entry on EA. I have it all mapped out, and then I go, for example, to the monthly time frame,
hmm,
and I will look very quickly at the dotted line. Is my dotted line at a turning point? And it is. So here at this area, because you see the candle going up and then going down. This
okay, yeah.
spike.
It's kind of like a supply zone. Is that correct? What Bruce says, kind
Yeah,
of, or was it the word order block,
yeah,
kind of?
yeah. Not yet. Don't confuse yourself with that.
Okay.
You're making it too
I
difficult.
rewatched that again today, and I was like, "Fuck, my head's gonna explode today."
To make it easier, you also have here the line graph. You're familiar with it?
Okay, no, I've never looked at the line graph before.
It's on top here, line
It's a
between.
bit less noise, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, the okay. I have to draw it out. It's easier. You can have structure. We're going up with a pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback. Here, if you will look on the line chart, you will see exactly the same. You would
Hmm.
like a pyramid, like a sharp point. This sharp point represents
Hmm.
a turning point. So we had an impulse up, and there's something there, like a psychological level, that had enough power to stop the uptrend and push it down.
Yeah.
So where you can see it is, for example, here we're going up, 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 huge impulses. Remember, this is the monthly time frame. This is
A lot of movement,
like
yeah.
a 3,800 pip move. So it's huge. It's a huge pump. And then here it stopped and it went all the way back down. So there's a level here, a key level, which is responsible for stopping the uptrend and pushing it back down.
Mm.
So that's what I do on the monthly and the weekly. I look for these swings. So the swing up and sharp push down, or vice versa, going down and sharp push up again.
Hmm.
So let's say we have here is one, here is one, here is one, here is one, here is
Yeah, so
one.
you're just looking for places that are gonna have long wicks and then just pushing down the complete
Yeah,
opposite direction, basically. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I only look for them in this dotted line because this dotted line is the current representation of price. So this is the monthly
Yeah.
time frame. I made my analysis on a lower time frame. The only thing I'm doing is looking, am I currently at a monthly or weekly level that can be playing a role in my trade as a turning point. So for
Yeah.
example, let's snap it on here. This is a psychological level, the 48250. Now, if I go back to my 4-hour trade, you will see, hey, this black line is the line I just made. You can make it any color. Let's make it orange. So you see, price came down and tapped this line. This line, so you know there's, um, yeah, you're familiar with the psychological levels of
Yeah.
Adrian
Yeah.
also
Yeah. Yeah.
explained, so I don't need to go into that. But then you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, this psychological level is also aligning with my daily zone. This white rectangle is my daily zone. So then you know, like, hey, this can be a prime spot that the pullback is ending. Oh, I get
Yeah.
my meeting is ending in 10 minutes. Need more time, Zoom
Oh,
call.
fuck you, Zoom pricks.
Yeah, we just log out and log in again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, like,
Fucking
what you're expecting here,
capitalist.
then, arseholes, man, arseholes. So, what you're expecting here is a bounce it to go up, basically, to go
Yeah,
bullish.
it's an extra confluence because also it's the same on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. We have an impulse and we have a retracement to a predefined zone, and then we expect the price to turn around and go up. So
Yeah,
you want to know what is a key level where price can turn. Because if you don't have certain key levels marked out, a monthly level or a weekly level or maybe even a daily level, if you want to go into that detail, then you don't know where a turning point is. Because, for
mm,
example, this orange line could be down here. And you're like, yeah, but I see a pattern, I see a candlestick, I see like a giraffe pattern, whatever the fuck you
yeah,
want. It's going to turn. But if there's no key level there, you don't know.
yeah.
So this can be like an extra confluence to boost an area of interest.
Hmm.
So that's why I also said in the group I took the EA because maybe I wanted to get in a little bit earlier. But I said, hey, it will
Yeah,
be hovering around this time a lot and probably will go down deeper because here's also EA. This trend line I have drawn like 2 weeks ago. So you see how cleanly it is following.
yeah,
And currently we are tapping the trend line and also the key level in our
yeah.
daily zone. So the probability, you never know, of course, it can also just go down, but there is a pretty high, the probability is higher that something is happening here, a response.
Hmm.
So you're just stacking the confluences.
And you see your daily zone there. What did you use to mark that out? Is that just like a rectangle shape, is it, or what is it?
Yeah, it's this one.
And that's so if you just go to the daily, you've just drawn that along for just for today, or is it just for
Well,
what exactly
I
is it?
have a complete strategy behind it. I
Oh,
will get into that, no problem. But let's first stay with the structure because else
yes.
we're getting sidetracked. Um, yeah, so it's always important to look at the bigger picture because here we have an internal structure change, um, but in the big picture, it's still a downtrend.
Hmm.
A key thing to note, and Brutus or Aiden was never a fan of this, but he's now coming back on his word, is that he always had the FIB, and he always said when you have a retracement below the 6180, the retracement is too far and it's invalid, and
Yeah,
it's going down. Now he's coming a little more back to it because now he's like, yeah, but you can have an impulse and it can come back to the hundreds, and then there can be like an order block here, and it can still take off. Whoop,
yeah,
it can go. And
yeah,
that has also always been my school of thought, and that's always also what I have been teach because when you have a FIB, oh excuse me, I drawn it wrong. When you have the FIB, let's make it a little bit clean and professional. Um, we have an impulse and we
hmm,
can have the correction, but around the 100 level is the liquidity that made the original impulse. So we can come all the way down to the 100 and we can even go a little bit below the 100. I have a special technique for that I will show you in a minute. That there's still all this liquidity here that made the original move. So your move can retrace all the way to the 100 FIB and then still just go. I've seen it
yeah,
play out a million times. So it's not like when you retrace below the 6180, okay, I'm done with the trade because the retracement is too far and throw it in the bin. Because a lot of
yeah,
times you can see, oh, we come back here and then it goes. And you're like, what the fuck?
yeah. I think Brutus mentioned that in the third video of the boot camp. He's saying the institutions put in half their money, boost it up, bring it back down to the like kind of break even price, whatever,
Yeah,
and then put it all in
get
then
in again.
basically.
Yeah, we get in
Yeah,
again at break even.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this for me is structure, and you can map it all the way through. Let's see if there's something that looks a little bit finished. To give a nice representation.
Everything's so clean and organized. Oh my god. Beautiful.
I had a really nice example. This is. I will show you a nice example of. Is it this one? No, I'm getting off track. I wanted to show you like something with yeah, this is for example. This is the problem with mapping out swing structure. We have low with a lower high, with a lower low, with the same high. If you go to a lower time frame, 100%, this will be an order block entry. And that's what I just said to you. You know, we can come back
Yeah.
all the way to the 100 fib,
Hmm.
and there's the liquidity that made this push. So we can
Yeah, and
come
it's
back
back
all the
again.
way,
Like,
and the
yeah.
same liquidity can get in again, and that ties into like SMC style trading. Um, so normally Brutus would have said, yeah, but this is your impulse, this is your previous. Okay, we closed above, fuck it. But we caused this impulse, so that a lot of liquidity can still be left to cause another impulse. And this is,
Mm,
yeah, you can see it, of course. So don't stick too much to the fib. The fib is really nice and dandy when you have clean structure. But if the structure is getting a little bit messier, then don't use the fib.
hmm.
Then have a little bit more common sense, you know.
Yeah, I think with what most from I'm saying most forex pairs now, the price or particularly on the EU pairs, the price action's all over the place at the moment. Like most of them, it's kind
Yeah.
of like just consolidate and then it's massive drops and it's kind of like where the fuck are we right now? What's going on? So I think that's what's coming the way the markets are right now. It's like that, you know. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and the disadvantage, or it isn't a disadvantage, if when you map swing structure, for example, here you have like the purple lines, daily swing high and daily swing low.
Hmm.
So we're still in a bearish downtrend. But all this action, you can you can say like, yeah, but then you cannot trade this because if you want to go up, that's bullish, you're going against the trend. So that's
Mm,
a disadvantage if you map out swing structure. But that's why you also need to look at internal structure. I know you did like the multi-time frame analysis from Photon,
hmm.
and he also maps out swing structure, and then he also looks at internal structure because you can definitely trade this retrace, but
Yeah, yeah,
you just have to keep in mind that in the bigger picture you are in a downtrend. So if you have
yeah,
like an entry here, you can do it. Just keep in mind that if you like your entry zone is from the 6180 somewhere here, just manage your expectations. Don't expect a trade to ride out past the 100, for example. Then
yeah.
look at market structure.
Yeah, so that's like, is that would that be going against kind of Brutus's like beginning teaching? Would it be like don't because you're with the trend kind of, but you're trading with it, but also against it? If you get me,
Well,
is it kind of going against the trend?
it
Is
it,
it
it,
kind of?
it, it is going against the trend, but you're currently looking at a daily time frame. So
Yeah,
the trend here is huge. So this impulse here, for example, is like a 600 pip move that spans over 47 days. So if
yeah,
you map out structure on the daily, it's the same as lower time frames, but you get more of the overall
yeah, yeah,
direction of
yeah,
the
yeah,
trend. But if you go down to the 4 hour or the 1 hour or the 30 minute or whatever, you can have a great uptrend. But just know in the bigger picture, you can trade the retracement, which is an uptrend on the lower time frame, but the uptrend on the lower time frame can just be a retracement on the higher time frame.
mm.
So
Yeah.
that's
So maybe
just,
when when you're getting to like the 61 or let's say the 38, 51,
yeah,
68 area
whatever,
on your
whatever.
fib,
Yeah.
then you start going, okay, maybe I should just close this trade out if you're going long in a downward trend, something like that.
Yeah, you just have to keep an eye on market structure in and of its own. Because if I go to
Yeah.
into the 4 hour, oh, excuse me, I think we have another guest in the room. I see three
Oh,
people.
Dylan's here. Haha.
Aha,
Bonjour. Oh,
bonjour.
he says, I'm here, guys. No mic. Oh,
Let's see.
there
He's
is a drought of microphones in Isengard. I have been informed.
he's clapping.
Is he?
I think he's clapping. uh, you have to look at structure because on the 4 hour you're going up, 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 and then you can just say, okay, I reached 6180 now, I close, but what's to say it's not reaching the 100 pip? So then you can
Yeah,
sell away. What I like to advise is to look at structure because you have a high, you have a low, you have a high, you have a low. You fail to make a new high, you still have a higher low,
yeah,
and again you have the same tap of the region. This is like a triple top. Or in SMC terms, this is like grabbing liquidity. So this is like grabbing some orders of other people.
yeah.
and then you see a break in market structure because yeah, this high. Oh, the meeting is ended. Hey.
Haha.
Everyone's back again.
And 1 second. I think we are.
I see Dylan, and Gareth. So I think we're back.
Oh, jeez. I need to change that immediately. Jesus.
Why?
Apologies. Who the fuck's Garrett? Don't mind. I'm undercover
Yeah,
for
sure.
Isengard. Yes. Don't know
Yeah.
who Garrett is.
Dylan, you're
Sorry,
also there.
is the Fed meeting now?
It's my magic board says around 8. Let me check.
That's
Uh,
Oh, the
2030.
NAS is plummeting.
In half an hour it is.
The NAS just dropped like fucking
It's not that much. On a daily
actually
at
not that
least.
much, sorry.
No, it's not that much.
I was on the 15-minute time frame and I was like, hold on a minute. What is
It's
that?
always nice because when it pushes down now to here, you can do like a retrace play. Because
It'll
this
just
white
bounce up, I
zone,
think.
this white
Yeah,
zone is like the shoulder 2 on the weekly. So when we break this, we can retest it and go short. So maybe a nice opportunity. Um, let's see. Chad, Dylan, Sarman sounds different than in the movies. Yeah, he sounds younger.
I'm pre-puberty sermon.
Dylan, can you? You're talk. Sorry, Gareth and myself. We're talking. You can hear both of us. Why are you not joining in sound? You don't want to, or
That's a cool icon, isn't it? Jesus. I think his microphone's broke. I don't know
it's
how it's
fucked.
fucked.
Okay.
Damn.
Then I will keep the chat down here. So if you have any questions, just give a yell. Um, perfect. So as I was saying, you can monitor structure on the 4 hour. So we have a high, with a low, with a high, with a higher low, with a lower high actually, but the wicks touch the same point. So this for me is
Yeah.
all equal highs, and then you break it with this
Like
impulsive move.
there's a lot of opportunities there to trade that like upward trend there easily.
Yeah. So a break of structure can be the first sign, or as you know it, because I showed you the photon, it's like a change of character. A change of character is a first sign of a potential reversal because you're not following a
Yeah.
traditional market structure anymore. So if you had, for example, taken a trade here or from here, you could have ride it all the way out, and then you see, okay, the structure is changing. Okay, now I'm going
Hmm.
out. For example, that's a way to monitor your trade instead of just closing it blindly. That's also what I do. I don't close my trades blindly. For example, when we reach a minus 68 fit level, an extension is the key to let your winners run. Don't cut them short. Just
Yeah.
trail your stop loss behind it and just let it run, let it run, let it run. In the past, when I started, I cut my winners short, for example, at 4 or 5%, and in the end, it could have made like 10 or 15%.
Mm.
So I think it's like a probability game of squeezing out the most out of your winners and minimizing your losses by mitigating your
Yeah.
risk, by predefining the risk beforehand. Let me put my glasses on. Yeah, so that's a disadvantage of swing structure. The moves are really big, and then you can say like, yeah, okay, I'm going to wait for proper retracement and then trade it, but there can also be like a lot of opportunity in this leg to go back
Yeah.
up. I don't always trade a retracement because you never know when it goes down. So you can have like a long opportunity here, and here it can go down already. You never
Yeah, I
know
get you.
if it is going back. So it's personal preference.
Mm.
But that's why when I only use like daily in a 4 hour, you see the list, I watch like 28 pairs. So because um, a chance doesn't come up often. As the back test I just showed you, for example, there was like the first pair was like EA. It only had like 10 entries from the start of the year until now. So
Yeah.
there's not a load of entries. But if you currently monitoring like 30 pairs, then you know you're getting like four, five, six trades a month. But everything just happens a little bit slower, on the 4 hour, for example. But that's personal preference. If you trade the 4 hour, you only have to watch like once every 4 hours, every candle close, instead of like every
Yeah.
hour. The disadvantage is less fast pace. The advantage is it's more relaxing on the nerves, because if you have an entry up here, yeah, and you let it run, this is like letting it run like 2 weeks.
Mm.
That's personal preference, but that's just my way of doing it, or looking at things. Let's say it better like that. So that's market structure in basics. So I hope that helped
Yeah,
a bit.
that was fantastic. Yeah, and really, really good because I think it's really good when you can ask questions. Because I'm like, even Bruce teacher, I'm like, I just want to ask him one simple thing, but I can't right now. But that's spot on. I like the way you've mapped out the daily swing high and lows. That kind of makes a lot of sense because what I struggle with, I think, is just trading and knowing when to get in. But also, I don't really look at trading the retracement. But I think I might start doing like 0.2% maybe on the retracement plays instead of just kind of waiting for something to happen.
um, I've always been taught that if you go with the trend, risk a percent. If you go against the trend, risk half a percent. But that's
Okay, 0.5. Okay,
how
yeah,
I've been taught. But I cannot determine the risk you are comfortable with. If you're comfortable with
yeah,
doing half a percent with the trend and like a quarter percent against the trend, that's something you have to figure out for yourself. I cannot determine your risk management.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but if you predefine it ahead, it's like easy, because in the moment, if this daily candle closes below the swing high, we know, hey, we have a new low. So this is then your new low. You can make like the break of structure line, and then you go like, okay, so if this is currently my new low, then what's the highest point of the retracement? Is it this one, this one, this one, this one? Which one is it?
The second one, second off.
Okay, good. This is your highest point, and then you just move this with you,
Right.
and
Okay. So then from there, then
then you have a
you
new
could
range.
start trading. Yeah, you could start basically if, say, for example, that candle closes there, and then tomorrow it's let's say a bullish engulfing one, or maybe 2 days it's just kind of consolidating, then a bullish engulfing. Then you can start looking at longs, maybe perhaps.
Uh, well, there comes the kicker. I'm backtesting currently. Um, as I just said, a change of character is the first sign that a trend can change or a pullback is starting. So, for example, we drop lower, we make a lower high, and we keep going like this. Then write the trend down. Look for your
Hmm.
entry, because my entry style is uh, high, low. This is like an M pattern, and the same is when you go down. It's like a W. Agreed?
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, I always say it's a bullish M or a bearish W. So that's like the pattern I look for on a daily. So if this keeps going down, what you can do, what you can look at big swing structure, and then you can wait for the retracement up here. But you can always say, yeah, but maybe this is going down until this point. So what I then do on the daily, I see, hey, push down, push up, push down. We close below this. So for me, this is my first leg, second leg, third leg. You put your fib on the bottom of the third leg, the wick, to the top of the wick of the body of the second leg. That's how I
Hmm.
do it. And then you can,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and then I look at my daily zone on the line chart, as I just showed you, and I start looking at a pointy shape, because as I just explained, the pointy shape, there's a key level there or a structure there that made the price turn. So I put my rectangle, I use my daily because I color coordinated, and I snap it onto the point. I go back, and then I put it on the 6180, or I put it in the length of the wick. So this is the length of the wick. So we went down.
Yeah.
This is the lowest point we have reached before we went up. So I put it at the length of the wick or till the 6180 line, because I can put it here if I want to, but I'm only interested at the 6180.
Hmm.
So so now I have my daily zone. What I then do is I put my alarm there and I wait for the daily to retrace here. And then I look at the 4 hour for an entry to take it short.
Ah, that's
Ah,
interesting.
nice.
Is this all completely from your mind?
Well, I had a 6 month. Oh, sorry, I fucked over the question. Dylan gave a question. Give me a second.
Oh
AU
shit.
is making a W on the leg right there, right? Where would your entry be then? Ah, that's my question answered. Thanks, though. Oh, okay. So question is answered.
Success. So yeah, that's just kind of accumulation of all their practices, but it's kind of your own strategy
Well,
basically you've kind of created.
I had a mentorship. You can Google them later. It's the forex dictionary.
Hmm.
It's a Belgian company, and they offer mentorships from all different categories. Forex mentorship. So I had a mentorship with them where I did like 2 calls a week for a 6 month traineeship.
Oh shit, deadly.
Yeah, and that's the strategy I just showed you. But through the times, I refined it also. Like some SFC style in it, looking at swing structure, refining entries, psychological levels, order blocks and stuff. I added that in later, but this is like the basic premises of that. You're always looking at the bullish M or bearish W on the daily. You let the daily come to your predefined daily zone, and then you look at 4 hour on the entry with certain entry per criteria. It's just not
Yeah.
like, okay, I have a candlestick, let's go. There's certain criteria, but if you want, I can show you that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, deadly.
So yeah, then I just put my alarm. I can do it now also, like an alarm line. Okay, bam, there's an alarm, and I mark it out with a color. What pair is this? This is AU. So I map it out with the like light blue. Light blue is for me. And then I just wait it out. Then the alarm goes off. I reach my zone. Then I start looking for an entry to do a possible short. This is for a continuation. Because we made a new low because we broke the previous low, but that is not to
Yeah.
say that we're going to retrace immediately, because also the course um, I showed you from Photon, after a break of structure, you can expect a retrace. But who is to
Hmm.
say the retrace is going now, or it's first going here and then it's going to retrace? You don't know.
Hmm.
So if you can follow the continuation of a trend with this, for example, as I said, it's a bearish W, ride it out. When I start anticipated pullback is actually, we have a low here, a new low. Oh, sorry. Fuck. We have a low, we have a high, we have a low. Agreed?
Yeah.
So this here is my low. Excuse me, is the highest point, this wick here. This wick is the highest point. If we break this, so we go above here, we close above, that for me is a change of character.
Hmm.
And then that can be the first sign of a reversal, because you have a break of character and we retrace it, for example, then you get a really nice pattern because you have a shoulder one, you have a head, and potentially you can have a shoulder too. So that's an inverse head
Mm.
and shoulder, and from there you can go long. So that can be
Ah,
that can be the sign of the
big reversal then. It's like
yeah,
big bucks, yeah.
it can be the sign that the impulse is ending and we are going to initiate a retracement.
Mm.
So that's how
Jeez,
I look
you
at
can
it.
see things, yeah. You see things very clearly, and you explain it very well as well. I'm very impressed.
Thank you very much.
I didn't know you were this smart, to be honest. I'm a bit out of my league. Even when I chat on the Discord, I'm like, ah, yeah, he knows his shit. But I'm saying this, I'm like, okay, I have a lot to learn. Holy shit. Dylan agrees. That's good. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good, good, good.
Thank you
Here's
very
me
much.
fucking looking at the air. I'm like, I've got this. Like, I'm sending my mates like screenshots. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking trading today. And they're like, what have you learned? I'm like, oh, like you do this, you're looking for the tracing here, the Fibonacci. And they're like, whoa, but this is good. Clean, clean,
Yeah.
clean, clean.
I will give you a example. Let's say,
Who do I send my invoice to? Sorry. Or like, who do I send my bill to?
well, if you succeed in becoming funded and you get successful, and I can help you or the group can help you along the way, when you have a nice payout, I will come to the west, or you will come to the east. But Dylan also lives in the west, so I
I'll
will come to
fly
the
out.
west.
Yeah,
I will come
I'll
to the
fly
west,
out.
and you can give me a drink.
Yes, 17, please.
Yeah. So
Unreal
that's
deal.
like the basic premises, you know. Um, as I said, you already watched the photon. As I just said, I mapped out outer structure, swing structure, but
Yeah.
within the swing structure, you have internal structure. And internal structure is something you can follow. So, for example, uh, okay, so my if you have the big picture, you know, with our first leg, our second leg, our third leg, our fourth leg. Agreed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Big bear is W. Here is like an entry, and you take it long. We have this impulse down, and this was your most recent low. So this is like also like you can categorize this as your break of structure. So now also your internal structure is also bearish. It has now aligned with the overall daily trend because the overall daily trend is also going down.
Hmm.
So now the daily trend is going down, and from this point on, from we have this break. So from this point onward, also, if you go for your internal structure is bearish, and if you go to the 4 hour, your 4 hour structure will now also be bearish. So at that point, you have the daily time frame and the 4 hour time frame aligned with each other,
Hmm.
and that's when the big moves happen because you have all the time frames in your back. Because the higher the time frame, the more powerful it is. So when you can align all the time frames together, that's when you get the big moves.
Yeah.
And to not go into too much detail now, we can do some many sessions as you want. I really don't care. If, for
Hmm.
example, here you have a break on the daily. Let's go a little bit back. Let's go to the 4 hour.
And so, are you still looking for mainly? You're not really trading retracements. You're just trading the trend usually, but sometimes you trade the retracement depending on the way it looks based on the
Yeah,
price action. Yeah.
it depends. Yeah. So from this point onward, the 4 hour also turned bearish. So now you have it in your sight. So now you can also look for Brutus style entries because Brutus
Yeah.
looks at a 4 hour impulse, a retracement, then he goes down to the 1 hour to look for that tiny candlestick there to take it long. That's how you can also incorporate Brutus style into this, but then you have the daily, you align the daily with the 4 hour and you go down to the 1 hour to refine it and get the most out of the trade.
Hmm.
But the downfall can be that you can be like a greedy motherfucker. Because if you go to the 1 hour to refine your trade, um, you're looking for that singular candle, you know, to have your stop loss instead of like 50 pips be like 25 pips to maximize it.
Hmm.
But you also have to know like enough is enough. So normally on the if I do like a 4 hour entry, the normal risk reward is like 4, 5, 6%, you know.
Hmm.
If you use the smaller patterns as I just showed you, but if you do like the big swings, fuck it can be like 10, 15%, you know.
Fuck.
So you don't always need to go to like a 1 hour. It depends on your strategy and how you put your stop loss, etc., etc. Um, Let me give you a nice example on the current chart. Dylan, is everything? Do you have any questions? Because I went along with some questions Gareth had, but
It's sorry. It's Saruman.
it's Saruman. The White Wizard had some questions. Is there something you want to add or ask before I move from left to right? Okay, perfect. If there's like another question regarding market structure, just fire away. You know. I also recorded this because I know there were some guys in the group who also wanted to see it. I get really nervous about typing people and like waiting for it. Should I put
uh,
some music in the background like da da da
uh,
da?
oh, I can look after the music. Oh, host save the participant screen share and shit.
Yeah, this is a nice example because this is a trade that worked out. There's still a trade running actually. Swiss JPY on my paper trading stuff, for example. Okay. Let's go to the daily. I can start again with this. If you want to, yeah, I'll strip it down, clean it. Okay, we zoom a little bit out. We have a high, we have a low, we have a clear new high. This high is breaking there. It validates this one, and this is your new peak high. Agreed?
Upward trend. Yeah.
I will map it out a little bit more clearly. Then solid lines is the break of structure. Break of structure,
Yeah.
low gets validated when the high gets taken out. Excuse me. I'm not used to talking this much, so my throat is dry.
I think it's good for you as well to kind of explain what you've learned, because you kind of reinforce what you've learned then when you start talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
So
the best way I always learned is by discussing it, because my view
yeah,
can be
yeah, yeah.
different than your view, but I can explain my view. But then in the way I explain it to you, you can be like, yeah, but I want to talk about this thing or this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I can dive into this thing or this thing, because I think that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as Dylan said, that's a key concept. That's just clicked for him. You take out the high that validates the low. That's
Yeah,
a
it's to see those
really
lines
key
you have, the
concept.
solid lines. Yeah, the solid lines is really helping me, because what I've been kind of doing is just leaving the highlighter dots, but having that line to kind of indicate it's gone through. Yeah, I'll be doing that definitely.
Yeah, you can use a trend line or an info line. I have both, but that's more because I use the info line for outer structure, and the trend line for inner structure. I like liquidity, because then I could put a sign in between, and you cannot do that with an info line. So
Yeah.
I use this for like internal structure, and the solid things I use for outer structure. But
Hmm.
that's just personal preference. So overall, we know we have a high, we have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high. So overall, we know we're in an uptrend. And I don't like the red because my screen has now like blue screen after 8, so it's like really orangey. So I hardly see
Haha.
like the red anymore. So I go back to red.
Yeah, they like me. These templates have me feeling like a caveman. I have some, like I have for my horizontal lines for like marking out monthly things.
Yeah.
I have like that, but all these little boxes and stuff. Yeah, I have a
Well,
lot to do.
I can show you my system in a minute or another session or whatever. I don't know how much time you have, but the cleaner you keep it and the more like certain rules, the more easier it is. For example, before I will go to this example and then you will know what I mean.
Hmm.
So we know we're in an uptrend. And as we just said, we're looking for, in this example, a bullish M. Looking for the first leg, second leg, third leg. Then the theory behind this, we're looking for the retracement of the third leg to initiate the push away. In a nutshell, for Dylan also. We can count in swings, or we can count candle for candle. So we look at the bigger picture, like we have a swing, we have a swing, we have a swing. But as it just said, from this point onwards, we can also look for candle for candle. So we can look like, okay, we have like an impulse, a pullback, an impulse, a pullback. So you could have looked for an entry here, go. Impulse, pullback, impulse, pullback, look for an entry here, go. You get what I mean, both of you?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we go with a big impulse, we have a small pullback, but still you can count it as, because it closed bearish, printed black, and with the next impulse. So I put my fib from the top wick to the body. You can do wick to wick. I will show you the difference. Currently, if I do my style, I look at the 6180, that is this level. Okay, that's this level. If I do wick to wick, as Brutus does, you see the 6180 gets a little bit lower. But if I now turn on, for example, the 50 and the 31, the 38, you see I start looking at the red line. The 38 of Brutus also starts almost at the red line. So you see,
Hmm.
they overlap. It's like a personal preference thing, but I don't like having 1,000 my Siri on my the Siri
Yeah,
on
I
my
think I
telephone
think
is
the
going on.
38. Yeah, I think
Uh,
the 38 is a bit too little. I think because like
it's
you're kind of
shallow, yeah.
risking. Yeah, you're risking like if you're putting your stop loss at the 61 level, then it's kind of like if it goes back there, it's just kind of yeah, it's not really worth, I don't think. But anything past the 50, I think is definitely worth looking at. But I think I might be taking the 31, 38 off, I think, or maybe even having it there, but having like really faint or something,
Yeah.
maybe
And
in
it
the
also
graph.
depends on how you draw it. So I have the 60, 61 and the 78, but I put it on the bottom of the closure,
Yeah.
not on the wick. But
Hmm.
if you prefer to put it on the wick, you can just put the 50 on there, and the 50 would align with the 61 on my way. So it's not a difference, it's a personal preference. It's not like you're missing a trade because, as you just saw with the line,
Mm.
it taps the same point. So it's a personal preference thing. You remember what I said in the beginning, that if it goes below the 61.80, it's still valid because there's still a lot of liquidity left?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will give you a secret that has been taught by me by other people. There's a thing called a daily fake out. That means we can even go below the 100 level because I put the 100 at the body of the wick. I,
Hmm.
as long as we do not close beneath this box, we're still fine for long. And the reason is, you see this wick here, price has already been at this point, at this wick, and still it managed to go up. So there's a lot of liquidity in this wick area. You follow me?
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. So that means as long as I stay within this box, if I get an entry signal here, I'm fine to take a long with my strategy. I'm
Hmm.
still fine because in this area is the liquidity that caused this impulse. So why this liquidity can still be here. There can be an order block in here for all I care to make another push. Uh, if I then go to the 4 hour, so my first entry would have been, um, oh wait, I'm going too quick. Excuse me, pardon me. Your zone. Did I already explain how you put my zone on? I think I did, right, between the
It
points?
did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So for Dylan, I don't know if you saw it. I start looking from my 61.80 and I go down and I look for a turning point. So this was not there. So put it on replay. The first turning point I always use the line chart for this because line charts indicate strong reversal points, like nice pointy zones. Um, I get my rectangle. I use the daily. My daily zone is white, and I just put it on. And then I put it on in the length of the wick. So like this, because this is the high the wick has reached. So this is for me my structure zone on the daily. As you can see, we pull back into the zone. When we pull back into the zone, I go to my 4 hour time frame. And then I start looking for certain patterns. I look for a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, oh, sorry. Yes, very clear on the line. Y on the upper wick. Um, because it's the most extended point of structure. Because I look at this turning point, and the maximum representation of the turning point is the end of the wick, because the wick represents where the price has been. Perfect. So I look for 4 patterns. I can look for a deceleration entry. A deceleration is actually multiple taps of the same zone. So this can be deceleration. We can come into this with a tap, and a tap. So if I have 3 taps, so for example 3 candle taps with the wick on the same point, that means price has stayed there for 12 hours. That's a significant amount of time because we're on the 4 hour, not on the 1 hour. That gives me an entry criteria. I backtested this pretty extensively. I can show you some results in a minute if you would like to. That's an entry criteria for me to go long. Um, that's one pattern. I also look for head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. So we come down, we come back up, we come down, we come back up, we come down, we come this. The important part is here. This is like the top of the shoulder. So shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. We have to break the neck of the shoulder, like a change
Hmm.
of character I just explained, and then come back. That for me is a head and shoulder. In this case, I drew a inverse head and shoulder. So for me, a head and shoulder um, is not okay. We came back down and mid shoulder and like this. That for me is not a head and shoulder because as I just explained with internal structure, I want a break of a neckline. That's like a small on the lower time frame. This would be like a break of structure.
Yeah.
You follow?
See that? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So that's a break of structure or a change of character is the first indication of a trend change. So I want the break of this neckline. Then it's the pullback, and then you can go. So that's for me is key. But everybody looks different at head and shoulders, but this is the best way I've seen it. Again, the meeting is ending again.
Oh.
Bite me. Um, yeah, so this is a deceleration. For example, you see one tap, two tap, third tap. So yeah, I have certain criteria behind it, but I don't want to go into too much detail. Nice one for you for the stop loss. You can put it at the wick. What I do is I put it at the wick and I look at the number. In this case, it's 37 pips. First, I make it a round number. So I go to 40 and then I put 10 on top of it. So you can go to
Okay.
50. But always look to the left also. That's very important because you also see a lot of wicks here.
Hmm.
So it can also go lower. That's an important thing to know. So let's play it forward. We have a push off, strong push off. My target is always at minus 27 normally the daily. So this is like a 4.5 trade. We push off. At this point, I'm already break even. If I break like this barrier here, I go break even because we have been
Hmm.
ranging in this for like 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, 4 candle, 5 candles. So there's like a 20-hour range. If I break it, I close above, I go break even already. Because normally deceleration isn't a pattern in itself. So a pattern can always follow. So by that time I already break even. So and we go down, this is like a break even trade. But then you can still look at other patterns. So let's play it again. Again, deceleration you see here.
Hmm.
The same pattern we had, but we close lower than the previous. So that counts as a reset. So because we closed lower, we made a newer low, so we can look again for a new pattern. So this is again a deceleration. We've been steady there for a long time. Currently, we're going up, but there was another trade I wanted to show. No, it's this, it's a great.
And sorry, would you not have any like support and resistance lined up on your charts now?
Yeah, I skipped that step. You can look now at monthly or weekly, but I skipped this step because I know in the past there's nothing here. We
Ah,
can go
okay,
to
that
that
makes
because
sense.
we are now like an all-time high.
Oh, you're in uncharted land. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We're so high up, so there's no
Ah,
use for me to go like to a monthly or weekly to look at a key level because we're so
right, that
high
makes
up.
sense.
So there's no reason. If you look very closely here, I always start looking for my last high.
Swiss
So,
mountains.
so this is a low that gets broken. Agreed? So that is this
Yeah.
is a new high. Then, uh, so, so then I start looking for a bullish M under my last high. That's one of the patterns. So with an impulse, a pullback, and an impulse. You see it?
Hmm.
We go up,
Faintly, but it's there.
we go down, we go up. Then I put my fib 4 hour fib on the highest point we have reached up until then. So that's just this wick to the lowest point. So to the bottom again. And then I go to my 6180. The same as putting in the daily zone. You do the same now here. We go back to the line chart. We start looking. Okay, 6180. Let's put a nice line. We go up. Okay, we go down, down, down. The first point we hit is this one here. So then I go like, okay, we're in my entry time frame. This is the point where I want to put my limit order. And I just put the limit order. Then, so you would have put a limit here. Then the lowest, you always go under the lowest low of the starting pattern. So here you see the wick coming down here.
Hmm.
You can say, okay, this is 40 wicks. You can say, okay, I'm going to make it 45 and then put 10 on top of it. But it also depends on the end risk. So this is always my preliminary target. And you see it's like a four and a half RR. So for me, on one trade, that's sufficient. You can put it here if you want, really close behind it. But then if you look left, you see some high wicks. There is a possibility of a wick tapping you out. So I always
Yeah.
go to the first number up. So this is 42. I make that 45 and then I put 10 on it. 42, 45. So that makes 55.
Okay, that makes sense because sometimes, like, in say if the pattern that is pushing off, it may come back and retest that little spot as well.
It can
So
make a double
even if you're
bottom.
just, yeah, that little kind of 10 pips extra makes a lot of sense
Yeah,
because that might just save
you
it.
can do it easy. You can do like, okay, this is like 41. I put 10 on top of it, make it 51. But I'm now backtesting it pretty extensively, as I just showed you.
Hmm.
Um, I hardly have any loss, like one loss, two loss, three loss, four losses, and this is like 8 months of data of four
Yeah.
pairs. So there's hardly any losses. So, and then I always put it, okay, this is 41, I make it 45. If it was like 64, I would have made it 50 and then 10, but you get the picture, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
That makes a lot of sense because
yeah.
it has happened me a lot since starting the fund that I've like gone
Mm,
kind of wicked out like 2 or 3 times now, and it's just gone back up again straight away. So
yeah.
yeah, that's very helpful.
So, and then normally I go break even at a minus 27 normally, but I'm just like testing it out for the moment.
Hmm.
So yeah, you would have been tapped in here. It's moving. I know Enfield from the group went short with this candle. It went down but back up. And that's the thing. On the 4 hour, you have a low, you have a lower high, you have a lower low. This can be a perfect retracement play. Perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on daily, you're going up. And that's the power of the higher time frame because the higher time frame is a stronger driver. So on the higher time frame, we are moving up, up, up. I'm not saying we're going all the way up, but yeah, as I said, that's the power of the higher time frame. So it looked like a nice short from here, but in the end, we went all the way
Yeah, and to
down,
see
all the
like
way back up.
because I've seen some people use the weekly time frame to kind of see where they are, but I think
Yeah.
that's maybe too far ahead, maybe to kind of like start. Did you kind of
Well,
waiting around for age then when you kind of really?
yeah, the thing is, if you look at swing structure, as I just explained to you in the mapping out, because you're looking
Hmm.
pretty big swings, you're already looking at a weekly. Because this is one candle, two candle, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. This is like 10 candles, this push. So
Yeah.
this is like a week and a half.
Mm.
So you're already incorporating a little bit the weekly time frame into it by
Yeah, it's
going
good
swings
point.
to swings. You're not like
It's just
counting
a bit easier
stocks.
to map out then, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dylan's
No,
dog has to pee, he has to go.
no problem, man. Take care. Take care.
See you later, Dylan. See you in Isengard.
um, yeah, so that's a basic premises with a little tangent going sideways into my strategy. But
Very impressive.
yeah, I think so.
It is. You
Are
can
there,
see your teachings are working anyway.
is there something? Yeah, we discussed stop loss a little bit. Market structure. Is there anything else like now you want to know for this call? Are you
Honestly,
so
that's literally perfect for me because if I've watched Brutus's things again today and now I've listened to this and I've got my answers, my questions answered, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. But it's just that yeah, it's the market structure and kind of seeing where exactly we are right now in the trade and where can I get in kind of thing.
yeah,
But now that makes a lot more sense. But I think as well the way price action is right now overall, it's kind of yeah,
it's
it's
messy.
not the easiest one to kind of understand for anyone really. But
No, it's messy.
that
It's
makes
messy.
yeah makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna go back to all my charts now. I'm gonna erase them all.
Yeah, it's funny.
And
I did a back test of Brutus's strategy live trading.
yeah,
This was like 6 weeks. It's like 64%. This was before all the economic drama.
oh shit.
Yeah, like 64% win rate, and we started like a 7/7 and finished like the end of the 8th month. So this is like a month and a half of forward testing, like live testing, all the screenshots, everything in it.
Mm,
So the strategy definitely works. I also did,
definitely.
I also did like the strategy I just showed you. Um that's also like 150%. Oh wait,
Fucking hell.
so there's a lot of percentage to it. Sorry, this is one. Excuse me, I was dyslexic. This was also the same time period. You see 6/7 until 28/7. So this is
Hmm.
only like a 3 or 4 week time span, also 50%. So
Jesus.
there's a lot of money behind it, you know.
You're gonna be a millionaire very soon. Very fucking soon. Jesus. Because you don't need a big win rate. You just need, the percentages basically. That's kind
Well,
of what I've learned off Brutus as well.
I target a minimum 1 to 4. So
Yeah.
if I have like a banging trade, uh, yeah, it gives you a 4, and then you have some room, because this is my current challenge, the phase two. Oh, we got fucked up again. You there? Hello, hello. Saruman, you there?
Mm.
Yay, I have sound. 1 second. Yeah, you back? Yeah.
Hello. Sorry, my microphone's changed. 1 second. Probably sound shit right now. Like,
Yeah, I hear a lot different sound than before. Can you hear
all
me?
right. Yeah, my mic. So my microphone has the battery died. So now I'm using my webcam mic. Apologies of how shit it sounds, but unfortunately I have to use that now.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. What was I going? Just needs to go. This thing on top. Fuck off. Go away. Um,
But the back testing app is very impressive. I just back tested some of British strategy and I got a pretty good win rate. So I was like, I'm ready. Stuff here.
yeah, yeah. But as you can see, this is like the phase two. I had a loss, a loss, a loss, a loss, a loss, like a lot of
Yeah.
losses, and I had 2 wins. Now your microphone's better. Say something.
Yes, I just changed it back there.
Yeah, this is loads better. Before it was
Yeah.
like you were in a church or something, the
Yeah, it's
microphone.
really, really bad microphone. I
Yeah.
need to change it.
But now you have like 2 winners and you're back at zero. Okay, you had like the loss today, but
Yeah.
that was my own fault. That's a nice lesson also for you. Why EA was my own fault. I just Okay, I will show you. Okay. Um,
Actually, let me just quickly check EA because was that a? It was. Oh, it's just completely melted.
well,
Okay.
this is a nice lesson. Okay, with a high, with a low, with a high. Agreed?
Yeah.
First leg, second leg, third leg. So the fib should have been here. Yes? But I was looking for the smaller pattern. I was looking at one leg, second leg, third leg. Okay?
Yeah.
Now if I go back to the other tab, my backtesting tab, I put the fib differently. This is how I have it here.
Okay.
I just got my alarm here. It just went off like a second ago. Like really like a second ago. September 21st, whatever. We reach your zone. Because
Hmm.
here I have it from the swing. With a high, with a low, with a high, with a low. So here I have
So we
different
put we
daily
put the
zones.
fib on the wrong place. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the small one because it also could have played out perfectly because there's also like a zone here.
Yeah.
So it was very possible, you know. But this is more the swing. With a swing back, this is one big swing because actually this isn't counted as a pullback because this is like a sideways movement, and it's
Yeah.
not. This is not like this candle, like a pullback, you know. This is like just a
Mm.
side step before we go up. So this is one swing. So then we have first
Okay.
leg,
So
second leg, third leg, fourth leg, maybe a fifth leg. You know,
right. Okay. So
you get the
yeah.
point.
Yeah. So even if pull back to where you have your fib now, it's actually lining up better.
Yeah,
Fuck.
It's lining up better because now we do the same thing. Go to the line chart. We go down, 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 down. What's my first structure point? Is this one here.
Yeah,
And
that
that
line is very. It's much. Yeah, the way you explain things, like everything's a lot more a bit cleaner. Like your UI is a lot cleaner. The way you explain is cleaner. Yeah,
thank you very
this
much.
is very good.
So next time you share a screenshot of your chart, it has to look like this, you know.
Or I'm getting fucking evacuated. Jesus. Yeah, and see, so for here, for example, on EA, you don't have support and resistance on this one either, no? Or will it just be
Well, we now tapped my zone, so now we can go look for it. Okay.
okay?
So
So you don't actually mark it up until you've hit your certain
no,
zone.
because it can go down to here and it can go there. So why should I mark up my 5,000 lines if it is not even reaching my zone? That's a waste of
Yeah,
my
that makes
time.
a lot of sense. Yeah, because that's what I have been doing. Like, at the very start of every month,
Yeah,
I go in and go, right, I go for the monthly and I'll go through every single zone
don't
for
do
the
it.
last fucking
Just do
12
like
years. Like,
daily 4 hour, and then when it comes to your zone of interest, even if you do like 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever, when you reach
yeah,
your zone of interest, then look for a thing because else you get like this.
this
Yeah,
is
a
it. Like, yeah,
fucking
like if you
thousand
look,
million lines, you know.
yeah, that's probably why mine don't look so
Yeah,
good anymore. But like, I have like, what I use is current monthly high, previous monthly high, current monthly low, previous monthly low. That's the ones I have lined up. But then
yeah,
I'll start going to like the weekly ones, but they're
but it
like,
has to be relevant.
yeah, exactly. But the ones I'm doing, like, for example, on the EA right now, they're nearly 150 pips away, like, and that's not going to happen on the 1 hour or 4 hour time
No.
frame. So
So now
that
we
makes
are
a
on
lot more sense.
the monthly. Okay. You see, we can do the line chart, whatever. You see turning point here. You see turning
Yeah.
point there. I'm getting a lot of alerts on my phone. And that's only like the only two you see. So we can get a line thing, snap it on, make it
Yeah. So now it's at a level like where it could
black.
easily.
Yeah. Um, does it not go away? This stupid thing. I hate it. Can not go? Um, yeah, you can make it like psychological. You know how it goes.
Hmm.
So 48,000. It's also
So like right
pretty
here, it could
alignable.
reject quite easy. Like
Could be.
pretty.
Yeah. And then I go to the
What's it?
weekly to see if there's another level that could be interesting in my zone, and I see two. It's the same. It's here and it's here.
Hmm.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Constantly tapping the wrong button. Control, it's almost the same. Put it in, and I always look if it's like above 25. So now it's my.
25. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I go
Yeah.
to 50.
I
If it's
le
below, I go to 0.
I learned that in skill, so I'm happy with that
Yeah.
outcome.
So those are your two lines. You can also go to the daily, but then you can make it like too much. You know, I don't really care for the daily. I look at big strong levels. So
Yeah.
because in the daily there's nothing here anyway.
Yeah.
And plus
So
you already
why do you
did
think
like the
Brutus
daily
marks his
zone,
out? Sorry.
and you
Say again.
also
Sorry.
and you already marked out like your white daily zone, which is also like a structure point because you did it like on this structure here.
Yeah.
So it's already your rectangular zone is also like a structure point. And now it's like funny. You have your two zones, your two key levels. You could have put your zone something like this in between.
Hmm.
So that's also like a nice conflict. This is like you can say this is like your kill zone. Could be your kill zone, you know.
Yeah.
So now we come back down, and now you just wait on the 4 hour, and that's the beauty I think of the 4 hour. It's really chill. So every 4 hour there's a candle close. You don't need to be
Yeah.
time charged all the time. You do like your markup on the daily. You put your
Set
alarm.
your alerts and then walk
Okay,
away.
my alert goes. Okay, you know, for example, you need a minimum 3 candles for a pattern. So you know, okay, the next I have to check this pair in like 12 hours time
Yeah.
before something interesting can happen eventually, maybe,
Hmm.
So it gives a lot of peace and quiet. And then you also have the capacity to look at 28 or 30 pairs simultaneously because you don't need to
Mm.
check 10 pairs that are in the FIP zone every hour at the same time and to enter all together. It's impossible. So that also gives a little bit more calm, peace of mind.
Mm.
Go ahead.
So where would you see them? Where would you see EA going right now then from what you're seeing there? Come down a bit more and then
I
you're gonna
think
see a
maybe
4 hour.
this level, the 47350, because we have the round number, the 48,000.
Yeah.
We're currently below that, and it's not lining up with our FIP level. Our FIP is like 47895. So I
Yeah.
expect it to come lower, and then it would line up pretty spot on with the daily zone we put on, because this structure point we did here as a reference of our white rectangular zone is the
Yeah.
same point that has been touched by the key level. So it could be a nice level. So it could go a little bit lower as long as it's in the white zone, but it can also go lower, as I just explained before with the daily
Yeah,
zone
to the
chart.
100 whatever.
It
Yeah.
can go there, as long as it doesn't close below. If it closes, I will keep looking at entries until it closes below this pink. I don't know what color it is. I think it's pinkish. If it closes below this pinkish box, I'm not looking anymore.
Yeah. You're
Because then
past
we
them.
broke the low and we can have like a change of character thing and we can go full down.
Yeah. So that, for example, like say if you did get in, and I seen Brutus as well when he's doing the reversal patterns as well.
Yeah.
It was more. I think it's the third one he did, but he dropped to the 5 and he'll like proper fine tune it. Like you could
Break the
probably.
structure, no block, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that, and I talk with Brutus a lot. I texted him today, actually
Yeah.
also. Your strike rate goes down because before you can go down to the 5 minute and refine it, but there's a good possibility that you get tapped out like 5 times before the move finally
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So
And
the
if you're
higher
doing
the
1%, like
yeah, exactly. The higher the time frame, the more powerful the move. And he's always said to me like, don't really go underneath an hour because 5 minutes and 15 minutes can give a lot of fake signals.
mm.
So just stay there, that's better.
Okay, so don't touch it, man. Interesting. Fuck me, man. This has been really helpful, honestly. Really, really helpful. Honestly, it's been really impressive. Like you can see how much you've learned anyway. And I hope I haven't wrecked your head too much.
No. I have time. I'm also sure, of course, I'm a busy individual, but I have time and
Yeah.
I enjoy it, because I have also been taught. After extensive money, let's call it that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I got fucked over sometimes left, sometimes right, and I always, if other people can prosper from it, they can grow. If I can teach somebody something that I know that can help them elevate their game or whatever,
Yeah.
I like doing it. As long as
Fair
there's
play
just
to
like mutual respect between another, it's fine by me.
absolutely.
I don't
Urk
know.
to Urk. Sorry, Wizard to Urk. Sorry, fucking. I'm only talking about Urk to Urk. Wizard to Urk.
You're
Fucking
talking
hell,
to
but no, it's been.
Sauron, bro.
Oh,
You're my
Jesus.
right
Apologies,
hand.
sir.
Shut it.
Captain. Fuck's sake. Sweet. Listen, thank you very much. I'm gonna go with my charts now. I'm not gonna send it till tomorrow though, because I want to make sure it's really pretty, but I'll just send you a quick look as to what my, let's say, EA looks right now. It
Yeah.
is
If
just
I can give you
just
a tip, I'm currently also doing it because I've been doing the 4 hour and the 1 hour a long time. So I want to get back into my old school of thought. I know it will be. I will give you homework. No,
oh shit, we're
but
back to
current,
skill.
currently I'm backtesting every pair from the start
Yeah.
of 2022 till now. So I'm down 4 pairs after 28. So I challenge you not to do the exact same thing, but look at the
Hmm.
pairs you want to trade. Um, because when I did the 60 or 70% thing here, I only did it on 5 pairs. I only did it
Okay,
on
yeah.
dollar Swiss, GU, AU, EU, GJNS, I think. It's like 5 or 6 pairs. That's the only thing. Choose a few pairs to focus on solely and go back to like the start of 2022
Hmm.
and backtest it from the start of this year till now, or do like entirely 2021, you know?
Okay, sweet,
Um,
yeah.
give you a rough example. This was my mentorship folder of mentorship I did.
Nice.
um, this is
Oh man,
all,
you're really going to be very
and
healthy. Like
this is
you're
month
going to be so rich. Fuck me.
this is monthly backtesting from March, from April to May till
Me.
June. Trades not taken, also very important. If you don't
Whoa.
take a trade, log it and review it. Why did you not take this trade? And then review it later. Was your hunch right? Was your hunch wrong? And then, for example, if you do
Mm.
like a monthly backtest and you see there were like 10 trades, but I only took 5, and the other 5 trades I did not trade because I thought the FIP was not okay, or this was not okay, or that was
Mm.
not okay. And then you track the trades and then you can learn from it. For example, my gut feeling told me that this candle was not okay, but then you see different results that the candle was okay. And then you can learn from that and implement it in your plan.
Interesting. Yeah,
You
I
get
haven't
where,
done the
yeah,
trades. I haven't taken. Yeah, because that
yeah,
is smart. Because there
that's
has been a
interesting.
few.
And
Yeah,
I
there's
think
one. I think.
a big one for you is writing down the emotions during
Okay.
or
Yeah.
taking the trade, because I know you can get a little bit jumpy.
Yeah.
Write down your emotions. Like, has been your emotions before entering or during the trade, because that's also
Hmm.
important. Emotion control.
Yeah, that's the next big thing. You're definitely on the path anyway. Like, but if you look at like what the 100K, one of the back testing that I showed me there, the 100,000 account and
Mm,
64 profit, like that's crazy
yeah,
money.
I tested them simultaneously, like the new Aiden strategy. It's also called Brutus strategy, and
Which one's that? Sorry, is that the one he's just currently teaching?
that's the one. This is the FIP retracement strategy
Pivot tracing
from
ones, yeah,
Aiden. Yeah, and then I also tested the strategy that has been taught by me by the mentorship.
yeah.
I did them simultaneously, you know, to map them out, but the results are pretty equal. It's just a personal
Mm.
preference, you know. And now I'm backtesting my own hybrid system.
Wow, wow, we were.
Wowie, wowie, wowie. Because that's the key. If you have the daily and the 4 hour, for example, going for you, and we see here, we see it coming back up, for example, and we see it breaking this high. Yes?
Yeah.
On the 4 hour, then we put our FIP and look here on the 1 hour. Agreed?
Hmm. Yeah.
So then you have the daily in an uptrend, you have the 4 hour in an uptrend, and you're waiting on a retracement and refining it here on the 1 hour. So you could have already had an entry here on the 4 hour, but you can scale in on the 1 hour on the when the 4 hour structure aligns with your daily structure.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah, that makes
hybrid
that. Yeah, I
system I
like.
have
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I like the way you've done it because the daily and the 4 hour, like as you said, because the daily is basically a weekly, but it's just like a few more candles. So you're getting a bit more
Yeah,
cleaner idea as to what's going on. And the
yeah,
4 hour, you're getting the kind of general more right direction where it's going to go. And then the 1 hour for your
exactly.
entry,
Yeah, and
savage.
if you do like swinging a little bit more like swing structure instead of candle for candle, then you automatically include the weekly in it. You know.
Yeah.
Here, I want to show you, for example, a quick trade on Euro Swiss uh, daily. This is like a 4 hour strategy, you know.
Lovely.
We come up, we have a break, a structure. This is like an order block entry, but I didn't take it
Yeah.
as an order block. I took it as a deceleration entry. So here, this small shitty box there,
Hmm.
that's deceleration, and then that's what I said with Euro for the stop loss look left because it tapped this wick, you know.
Yeah.
And I put stop loss just outside of it. And you
Yeah.
see it came back down, came back up to the same point, and then it went down.
Fucking hell. What percent was that? Do you know?
9%, right?
Oh, geez, that's so nice.
Let's see. This isn't nice for you. This is a sort of like a head and shoulder. This is what I said with the change of character on a lower time frame. Okay,
Mhm.
so we have a daily W with a first leg, second leg, third leg. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, bam. We go back down up. and so we go here, we wait, we just chill, and we let the trade come to us. We go down to the 4-hour. We have here, we go up, we go down. We go up this high,
Hmm.
breaks this high. It's also very important, it breaks this wick. So it's a
Yeah.
clear new high.
Yeah, it's the head.
Then we go back down, we retrace a little bit, and then we break it. We break this low. So this is like
Hmm.
first impulse, second impulse, third impulse. So it's like a small W. You see it?
Hmm.
And then it comes back down to the same height as the shoulder 2. So shoulder 1, we have a head. We have not directly a break of the neckline, but we have almost a break, a retrace, and then a break. So a W. So
Hmm.
impulse, retrace, impulse, and then we come back down to form the shoulder 2. Then again, you could have put your stop loss here on top of the wick, I tested it both ways around. I also stayed here in the box. The stop loss candle, body or head, rounded up, doesn't matter. So you could have done the top of the wick, put 10 pips on
Plus
top
10
of
as well,
it,
yeah.
you would have been fine. But I rounded it up. So this was like 42, I made it 45 and then plus 10. And I looked left to make sure I was over this little motherfucker here. Because look what
Yeah.
it did here. It tapped you in, went all the way up. If it did the highest wick, you wouldn't been tapped out.
Be gone, yeah.
And then
You
it
missed the
comes
whole
back
thing.
down. You missed the whole thing. And that's
Ah, you
it's better safe
fucked
than
up the
sorry.
institutions.
It's better safe than sorry, because this was
Yeah,
a 5.5% trade,
unreal.
and it took like 2 or 3 days, but it's just like chilling, It just it's
Yeah,
going, it's going, it's going, whatever. And that's also big for you. The more you backtest, the more you see these patterns or things, no matter what your strategy is, play out, and it gives you confidence because you have
yeah,
seen it play out a million times before instead of the first
yeah,
time.
yeah. I think what
That's the
what I
big
have done
thing.
previously with the back testing is just kind of use Brutus once, but use it for like a month on like two pairs. I'm pretty sure it was Euro, US dollar, and GBP, JPY. I'm pretty sure. So maybe I'll do all of the Euro pairs, all of the GBP pairs, and see
Yeah, you need to
if it works.
pick your pairs.
Yeah,
Brutes told me pick 4 or 5 pairs and specialize in them. Because if you have like
yeah,
30 pairs, you don't know the key levels, you don't know this, you don't know that. Um, if you want, you can take these pairs, for example. These are the pairs I back
yeah,
tested like a month. You see the results, they're okay. Huh? They're pretty big. It's almost all major pairs. It's like USD Swiss.
yeah,
It's a GU. It's an AU. It's an EU. It's I think even a UC. Yeah, also a major pair. I think it's just
yeah. I
majors now.
think I think that there's probably more manipulation on the major pairs, but you've kind of like, I don't know, maybe they're better to do, perhaps.
The advantage of major pairs is that they are the most traded pairs. So there's a lot of volume
Yeah,
behind it. So it won't be
yeah.
hovering around break even a lot of times. It's more impulsive.
Hmm.
But I think it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. I think 6 pairs is this,
Yeah,
including 2 NAS entries. I think, which were both winners. Like for
8.5.
8% and for 7.5%. So 15% of this was just 2 trades on NAS.
Deadly.
Deadly,
Unreal.
Yeah. So
Fuck me.
I
Thank you very much. This has
no
been
problem, man.
honestly incredible. It's like it's just, yeah, it's just very impressive how much you know. And I actually have a lot more to learn. But as you can see on the Discord channel, that is what my charts look like. And every time I go onto it, I'm like, Jesus, where the fuck, what's going on? Where am I kind of thing? But the kind of
Everybody needs to learn. I spoke with Aiden today, and I'm doing another session with him this week.
nice.
Because I also want to get his thoughts on my hybrid system. Like
Yeah.
aligning the daily with the 4-hour, and then when there's a 4-hour internal change of character, so that the 4-hour structure is aligned with the daily, then go looking, then also enter on the 4-hour, but then also start
Mm,
looking on the 1-hour. How he's thinking about it, because I have sometimes a little bit of trouble with mapping out structure. Um,
yeah.
could be hard
I th
to believe because I explain it so fluently and
It
easily.
doesn't look like it anyway. No, but he said the same thing in his boot camp. He's like, I sometimes struggle to see kind of exactly where we are right now in the market kind
Exactly.
of thing.
And
So
that's
yeah.
because for me, sometimes it's hard to identify pullback.
Mm,
So here you can say, okay, this is a pullback, this is a pullback, this is a pullback. But then if you do like all these small things, it can be possible, as I showed you in the beginning, that it's like, oh yeah, now we're in an uptrend. No, you're not, because you're in
yeah.
a retracement of the big trend.
Yeah.
So that's something I don't struggle with, but I would just want some extra confirmation, And then
Yeah.
when I want confirmation, I pick his brain. Um, if you want, I can also show you, send you this. These were questions I asked Aiden. So
Oh,
in the in
nice.
the in the fat printed, I don't know how you call it in English, the more solid letters, the cursive.
The
Okay,
bold.
the bold.
That print.
the
The
big
chunky text.
the big letters is the question, the small letters is the answer. So
Yeah.
I will send it to you. Maybe
Savage.
maybe
Thank you
that
very
can
much. Jesus.
maybe
You're a
that
fucking
can
legend.
maybe that can help you also a little bit. Your text is too long. It's more than 4,000 characters. Okay, bite me.
Oh,
Let's see how
there's
much.
capitalism, man. It's fucking real. Do you know, I should get we should make an actual because we have a group chat here. Maybe
I
not a
send it to
server
you.
just yet.
I
It's
send it to you.
unreal. Thank you very much. Like the only questions I had written down my notes for, let me see, um, these, but they're not really. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're just yeah, you're way past that. These are like my beginner knows on something, but you might spark something again in your mind, perhaps.
Yeah.
But they might not be in your thing, but yeah, increments of 50, yeah, so 50 on the support and resistant levels, use him for levels, understand big pullback zones, order blocks, blah blah blah. But say no more. Thank you very, very much. I'm gonna redo the charts. I'm gonna do some journaling as well, on in the before trade, after trade, and see what that's like because that's something I haven't done. I've thought about it, but I haven't actually done it. So I'll do that as well because that is probably something I need to do for the longer term anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
take a look at it, mate. Um, I hope I've been a help. And
Oh, way
if
above and beyond. Jeez. I wasn't expecting this. I thought I was gonna be explaining some things as well. I haven't said a fucking word. It's been incredible. Thank you very, very
no
much.
problem.
I'll send on
If you want
my
another session in the future, don't hesitate.
absolutely, yeah, definitely. And we'll get all the other ones